Hi and welcome to a information session about my favourite things in the whole entire world, doTERRA oils. So I'm going to go through the top 10 oils that I believe that everybody should have in their home. I'm going to go through my top 3 ways to use each one of these 10 oils and make it super simple to start implementing them in your everyday life. I would not have a day go by that I don't use most of these oils in one way or another, either with myself, my husband, or my 3 children. So they are definitely implemented into our routine and definitely a great part of our day. So the top 10 oils I've decided to talk about actually come in a starter kit, which makes it really easy to get started. It's in a 5ml size in the Essential collection with Smart and Sassy, or it's in the Home Essentials kit. These 10 oils can also be found in some of the larger kits like the Nature Solutions kit and the oil sharing kits as well. Most people start with the Home Essentials because you get 10 of these 10 oils in the larger sizes, and you also get a diffuser. So you get a pedal diffuser as well. So you're pretty much equipped with nearly everything that you need to get started. The only other thing that I would add in is a fractionated coconut oil, and I'll explain why it's a really good idea to start with this. So that, I'll explain about that in a minute. So the top 10 oils are frankincense. We'll talk about that. Oregano, beautiful herby oil. Tea tree is your leaf oil. Lemon is your citrus oil. We've got lavender for your floral, and peppermint for your mint. So we've got one of each of the types of oils. Sorry, I forgot to mention frankincense is the wood. So there's a few different types of oils, and each one of those 6 fit into those categories. So it makes it much easier when you think of the oils in types rather than this oil is for just that. You can get very hung up on, oh, I don't have this oil, I can't help this ailment, but you actually would probably be able to with these 6 oils. There's also 4 blends that I'm going to cover, and that's On Guard. We've also got Ice Blue. You've got Easy Air, and you've got Digestion. So these 4 oils cover the digestive system, the immune system, the muscular system, and the respiratory system. So you can see that with these 10 oils, you can cover nearly, most ailments just with these 10. Obviously, doTERRA has a lot more blends, mood management kits, emotional aromatherapy oils, and beautiful blends for all sorts of different things. 70 odd single oils. So there's plenty to delve into, and it's quite a big journey. It can be, though, quite overwhelming to start with. So what I would recommend is to simplify things. Start with one of each category and one of each blend for a system in the body. It makes things much more simple, and you pretty much have everything you need to get started with that. So I'll go over frankincense. So my top 3 uses for frankincense are for really calming the system. So by that I mean calming the nervous system. As a mum that deals with a bit of anxiety from time to time and the daily stresses of everyday life, I really like to use this on my thumb. And I hold my thumb, obviously the lid is off, but turn it upside down. The frankincense is on my thumb. I hold my thumb to the roof of my mouth for 30 seconds firmly. And what that does is it actually stimulates the vagus nerve, which runs right through your body, but it's directly linked to your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, without getting too technical, you have 2 nervous systems. Your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for resting and digesting. These are things that you don't normally do and you can't do when you're in that fight or flight, that sympathetic nervous system side. And if you're feeling like you're really highly stressed all the time and, sort of not sleeping enough and running on adrenaline, then the frankincense would be a really good way for you to be able to just calm the body back down. And using the frankincense on your thumb and pressing it to the roof of your mouth, it's kind of like a reset button for your system. So I really like to do that. I feel like when I do that, I have a better day. So I use frankincense in the morning. Some other kinds of ways that I use frankincense is because frankincense is an enhancer, which means that it can enhance the effects of any other oil that it's put with. I really like to use frankincense with just about everything, especially things for mood support. Because it definitely helps to boost that blend. It gives it a nice base woody tone to the blend as well, aromatically. And another use that I like with frankincense is to assist healing of cuts and scrapes and things like that. So I will put that in with my boo-boo blends and those types of things. So frankincense, I like that. Oregano. Oregano is, I would say, the most powerful herb oil out of all of them. There are many, but if you're going to choose one herb oil, definitely make it oregano. Oregano is nature's antibiotic. So with that, what you can do is you can dilute it with the fractionated coconut oil. I told you that was going to come up. So dilute it with the fractionated coconut oil, and you can apply it topically to an area of concern. You can also, I don't have any here right now, but you can get little empty capsules, and I've talked about it in many of my past posts and things like that as well. But you can get empty capsules and you just pull them apart and put a couple of drops of the oregano in. You can take this internally and you can fill up the rest of the capsule with the fractionated coconut oil and take that as a bit of a germ busting blend. So the oregano is really good for fighting germs. It has been proven to kill all gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So in other words, the kind of bacteria that antibiotics can kill, and also the kind of germs that bacteria that antibiotics can't kill. So it's a really, really good natural way to get rid of germs. Oregano, I also like to add this to my bolognese. So I make big batches because I've got 3 small children, and I don't like to cook every single day, big meals, because we're busy, and I'd rather be doing other things like playing with my kids. So I make a big 2 kilo mince-sized bolognese, and I'll put 1 drop of oregano, and I'll use dried herbs for the rest of the herbs for the flavour. The oregano definitely gives it that beautiful traditional flavour. If you want to use different herb oils for a size of meal like that, you can also put a toothpick into the top of the bottle and just stir the toothpick through, and that way you can use many different essential oil flavours at the same time. Okay, so that's a few of my uses for oregano. Tea tree. Now, tea tree is deemed to be nature's antiseptic, so this has absolutely replaced our family's need for Dettol and any of those types of antiseptic creams and lotions and all those types of things. Although they do have some natural components in them, they are also filled with chemicals and other things that I don't want to be using readily on my children's skin and on my own. So I really like having a natural alternative for that. So tea tree has many uses. You can use this topically, you can use it aromatically, and in America it is deemed to be able to be used internally. It's up to you whether you want to use it internally as well, but you can use this as an antiseptic type oil. So I like to diffuse this with lemon and tea tree. It's going to help to kill airborne pathogens and things like that and purify the air. Tea tree, I use that with, I use it in conjunction with lavender for lots of things, eye irritants and bacterial infections and all sorts of different things. I use the tea tree for. So it's just got so many uses, and it's a really good time, I think, to mention that you don't need to remember everything. You don't need to learn everything and have it stored somewhere, in your memory. It's not like studying and all that sort of stuff. You basically just look things up as you need them. We use a really good resource called Modern Essentials. There are plenty out there. There's plenty of books out there and texts and resources. There's also the Modern Essentials app, which is a really good app to have. Basically, you can just look up every oil and it tells you all the properties that it has. And you can also, look up each ailment and tells you which oils to use. So me reciting this stuff is easy for me because I've been using them for a couple of years and I know all the different ways that I use them. But when you're starting out, it is a really, really good idea to get one of those resources and just look things up as you need them. So yeah, a couple of ideas for tea tree. Lemon oil. I really like lemon oil. I use this every day in my water. I do have a few other citrus oils that I occasionally change it up with, like grapefruit and bergamot and wild orange, but I really love lemon. It is a neutralizer. It brings energy into your day. It is really good for your digestive system, for your immune system, for support. So I really like to have 1 drop of lemon in a glass of water. My glass is about 400 ml size. Each to your own. Like I said with the oregano, you can put a toothpick in and stir that around if 1 drop is too much. So that's how you can bring it back down, or you can add a couple of drops. It's not going to hurt. You can also add that to a capsule and take that internally for your immune system. You can add it to a teaspoon of honey. Add a couple of drops of lemon oil to that if you're feeling a little bit low. So there's lots of great uses for lemon. You can make a little raw cheesecake slice with some lemon oil in there. There's beautiful recipes and all sorts of things out there if you just have a quick search on Google or Pinterest. So lemon, I really like to use that a lot. Lavender. Lavender is something that is in some of our most favourite blends for nighttime and for sleep and restfulness and calming. Lavender, just looking at the colour, I mean, it's that beautiful light purple and it's just a calming colour to look at anyway. So I think of calming mainly when I look at lavender, and I pick it up mainly for those types of things. I put 1 drop on the pillow but under the pillow slip, so you've got no danger of touching it with your skin. And you can do that on a child's pillow as well for extra calming, and it's going to diffuse out of the pillow throughout the night. So that's a really good little tip if you don't have a diffuser and you don't have one in every room, but you want that long-lasting effect. So I use lavender like that. I also mix it with some coconut oil and do a little foot massage on my children if I want them to really calm down. Lavender is also able to be taken internally, and interestingly, lavender actually cools the system. So you can add a little bit with some coconut oil onto the back of your neck on a hot day and it can really cool you down. You can also use this when your temperature is rising through illness and you really need to cool down quickly. The lavender is really good. I also use this in a glass spray bottle of water. I've put 5 drops into a 100 ml glass sprayer bottle of water, and I can use that as a lavender mist, and that really helps to cool the system like that too. So there's a few little tips for lavender. Peppermint. Peppermint and I go way back. He was the first oil that I ever came in contact with and absolutely took us, spun us around and changed our lives. If you've followed any part of our story before, you'll know what I'm talking about. But basically, we had a lot of problems with fevers and serious illnesses in my family with my children, and peppermint really helped us to be able to take our life and our health to the next level. So I have a really, really deep regard for peppermint. It has so many uses. Mainly for us, we use it for, well, I hate to say it, but dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate with a couple of drops of peppermint oil in it. So you can make your own raw chocolate. I have a recipe coming up in my new recipe book. But peppermint and chocolate just go so wonderfully together. They're a match made in heaven. Peppermint oil is really good for cooling the system like I was talking about before. So I will dilute a little bit of peppermint oil and put it onto the bottom of the kids' feet if their temperature is rising fairly fast. Peppermint oil is really good for head tension and muscular tension, any muscular discomfort with nerve involvement. I really like peppermint oil for those types of things, and I really love to use peppermint in my foot balms. So overnight time, I've made with the dōTERRA hand and body lotion, I've made a foot balm with some peppermint and wild orange and a couple of other oils in there, and it really helps to relieve tension and ease the muscles. It's relaxing, and yeah, it really helps to yeah. I just love putting it on before I go to bed. I wash my feet with a hot washer, so they're nice and like pores are open and all that sort of stuff. And then I put the foot balm on and go off to bed. And it's just such a nice nighttime routine to be in. So peppermint oil. We've got the 4 blends next. So I hope you've been finding these little tips helpful. Stay with me. We've just got 4 more blends to go through. And then I'm going to just quickly talk about how you can get started. So we've got the Easy Air blend. So this is for the respiratory system. I really, really like this one for opening up the airways, for having a big, clear, deep breath. You know when you're feeling a little bit, I don't know, if you have a bit of anxiety or anything like that and you can feel your chest tightening and you feel like you're taking short, shallow breaths, or you're feeling a bit worried or nervous or stressed or whatever it is, I really like to put a drop of Easy Air in my hands, rub it together, and just have a big breath like that, and just go, You can instantly feel your airways just open up, and you can feel everything just calm down. It's like your shoulders drop 3 inches. It's amazing. And I really like to have this in my keychain. So from doTERRA for, I think it's $8. You can get them in a couple of different colours. You can get a keychain vial, keychain filled with 8 little glass vials. You can put a few drops into each vial of the oils that you want to carry with you, and top them up with coconut oil. And then you've got them on the go. It's amazing. So I don't go anywhere without my little keychain. So when I'm driving down the highway and the kids are all screaming in the back or something like that, before I react, I really like to get my keychain out, have a big inhalation of my Easy Air, have a big breath, and just go, right, okay, how am I going to respond correctly to this so that everybody wins? But the Easy Air has definitely taught me mindfulness. So I really, really like that one. My son, he's 5, he has had a lot of respiratory distress. So overnight time, most nights I'll put the Easy Air or a blend similar into his diffuser. So he has a really good night's sleep and feels really calm, and his airways and his respiratory system can really relax and recover. And yeah. So I really like it for that. Another couple of tips, you can put it onto the bottom of the feet for a longer sort of lasting effect. You can rub it onto the back. You can mix it with some coconut oil or some hand and body lotion and make your own little Vicks rub, Vicks type rub with no nasties in it. So you can put that onto the chest, onto the back, or onto the bottom of the feet, and use it pretty much the same as you would those chemist bought type rubs and things, creams and things. You can also put a couple of drops onto the bottom of the shower. Because it's oil, it's not going to wash away. So you can put a few drops onto the bottom of the shower and steam up the cubicle, and that will also help with respiratory support. So that's that one. We love that. The ice blue. Geez, this gets a workout. I don't know if you can see that properly because it's a bit dark in colour. But the ice blue, also commonly known as deep blue, it comes in a range of different products. You can get this as the oil in the kits, which is a great way to start. You can also get it in the athletic rub, which comes in a tube, and it's already mixed with a base that you can just rub it straight on like a cream. And you can get this in a roller as well, which is already diluted with the coconut oil, but it's just in a rolling format. So there's lots of different ways to get this. I would recommend starting with the oil on its own so you can get used to how you want to use it and also in what strength you want to use it. Because everybody's different and everybody can be sensitive in different ways. The ice blue is particularly good for muscle pain, tension, and all those associated issues. What I love about ice blue the most is that it doesn't just mask the problem. So with lots of chemist bought, and shop bought pain relief creams and anti-inflammatory creams and things like that, they're pretty much just band-aids for the problem. Sure they work and they can help you at the time, but they can actually be a little bit dangerous because they mask what's actually happening. Whereas the difference between that and the ice blue is that it's not only going to help you with that initial discomfort, but it's also got oils in it which have constituents in them individually that help to heal and repair issues associated with muscle discomfort. So I really love that twofold effect that the ice blue has. So yeah, to recap, basically it doesn't just mask the problem, it helps to repair and recover as well. So I love that. And you can use that topically. So we've got 2 more blends left. One is On Guard, and that is the protective blend. This is what we use for immune support. So this is going to help you on a daily basis as a preventative healthcare measure. So in the ways that you would use that, like we do, we just either put a drop onto the back of our neck, we can put a drop onto the bottom of the feet, you can put it into a roller and top it up with coconut oil and roll that onto the kids, wherever you like. We make this into a hand sanitizer. So I've got a 100ml glass sprayer bottle. I do 2/3 witch hazel, 1/3 water, and 10 drops of On Guard. So I get that, sprayed onto the kids' hands before they go off to childcare and things like that. On Guard is amazing. I've done many posts on Guard and videos and things like that. But another really, really good tip is to spray your house with On Guard. Basically, once a week, I've got a 500ml sprayer bottle. I've got 10 drops of On Guard in there, and the rest is filled up with tap water. And I basically, overnight time on a Sunday night, while everyone's in bed, and just before I'm going to hop into bed, I spray all of the common areas. So on top of the toy boxes, just it's a fine mist. It's not, wetting everything. I just do a mist over the toy boxes, the door handles, the light switches, the areas that get touched a lot, especially as soon as you come home from being out around germs and other places. So on a Sunday night, I'll spray everything, let it air dry, and then from Monday morning onwards, I know that nothing is going to grow there for 7 days because it's been scientifically proven for that to happen. So, we might have germs come into the house, but nothing's going to grow there, and certainly nothing is going to get spread from one person to another. So for nearly 2 years, we have not had the common thing in a family with lots of children where one child brings sickness home and then everybody gets it and just goes from one person to another. And believe me, we had that for a good 5 years with the kids when they were really little. But yeah, for the last couple of years, just doesn't happen anymore. We've got the house is pristine, it's germ-free, and I really love it that way. The Digestin, that's the last one. This is something that my husband uses a lot. I use this from time to time as well. I've seemed to get a bit of a handle on my food intolerances, and I sort of know what I can and can't eat, and I do kind of stay away from them. But I do know that I have the Digestin there. If I do give in and have that bit of cake or whatever, I know I'm going to be a bit bloated afterwards. So I'll have a bit of Digestin, and the way that I take this is I'll pop it into an empty capsule. I'll just put 1 drop in, top it up with coconut oil, down the hatch. I know within about 10 to 20 minutes, my stomach is going to feel completely normal again, and I'll have a great night's sleep. That's my personal experience. The Digestin does work pretty quickly, and it's a digestive blend which works on everything from the mouth to the anus. So think of all of the types of ailments that usually affect those kinds of areas, and you'll be pretty much set with having the Digestin. So I mentioned taking it in a capsule. You can also put it in a roller, and if I've got a problem with my stomach, I'm going to want to put the oils on my stomach or in my stomach. So you can either roll it onto your tummy and give the tummy a clockwise massage for a few minutes, or you can take it in a capsule or in a glass of water or rice milk or some sort of a liquid that you think it'll go with. The Digestin smells a bit like licorice, or if you're familiar with alcohol, then sambuca. It tastes a little bit like that. So yeah, it's an acquired taste, and if you don't like it in the liquid, you don't have to battle with that. You can take it in a capsule. It does, on the US side of the site, also come in a soft gel. So if stomach upsets and indigestion and those types of heartburn and those types of things are common in your family, then you might want to look into eventually getting the Digestin soft gels from the US to take with you when you go camping and when you go out of the house. But it's definitely a good one to have in the original blend, because then you can use it multi ways. Okay, so that's the last one. That's 10 oils. Just to recap, we've got frankincense, you've got oregano, your herb, you've got tea tree, you've got lemon, you've got lavender, peppermint, and the 4 blends: Easy Air, Ice Blue, nearly dropped one, On Guard, and Digestin. And in the Home Essentials kit, you get the petal diffuser, And the only other thing that I would add to any of the kits is a fractionated coconut oil. There's a few good reasons to use this fractionated coconut oil. I really, really strongly believe that doTERRA only sources the highest quality ingredients. They co-impact source with the countries in which they get all their oils and things from, and they also support local farmers and the economy in such a great way. doTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation is a charity that helps in so many ways around the world. You don't even have to go to doTERRA.com to read all about their humanitarian things that they do around the world. So with that in mind, I know that the fractionated coconut oil is coming from coconut palms that are, allowed to be harvested and in a way that is supporting local farmers. So the fractionated coconut oil is ethical. It also it's fractionated, so it's a fraction of the coconut oil, the original. So basically they process the medium chain fatty acids and remove the smell and the taste. So it doesn't smell or taste like coconut. So if you're thinking, oh, everything's got to be blended with coconut oil and I hate the stuff, then don't worry. Fractionated coconut oil doesn't smell or taste like coconut, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're into massage and you do that sort of thing, it's got a beautiful slip to it. So it's really good for blending and using topically. It also has many of the benefits of using coconut oil, like the anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial properties and things like that. So it makes it a really good oil to blend with. It also doesn't go rancid. So if you're like me and you've gone, oh, I'm going to use all sorts of different things and I like the jojoba oil and the sweet almond oil and all that sort of stuff, I'm just going to make up a heap of blends without really, looking into it very much because you get all excited. You'll go back a month later and that jojoba oil blend will smell like insert something there. So fractionated coconut oil for rollers is a really, really good tip. Use the fractionated coconut oil for your rollers, particularly for topical blends where you're just making up one serve at a time. Go for it. Use whatever kind of blending oil that you like and that you prefer at the time, and whatever you think goes. So there's lots of different things you can use for that, but this is definitely a good one to have on hand. It's the only thing that I would add extra to your kit or to your first oil purchase. So basically, I just realised this is going to be backwards. So basically, you can start with starting with a kit and you don't pay the $35 fee, or you can start with a $35 one-off fee and choose whichever oils that you want to get started with. So most people do start with a kit because you save a lot more money on doing that, and you also will get 8 shipping points back for getting started. But yeah, if you want to know any more or you want to get started, we have some really great promotions on at the moment, and I do provide all of my personal members that join with me a beautiful getting started pack with lots of resources. I've put together some really cool things for you to have as a gift when you first get started. This is just some of the little things, some extra oils and bits and pieces that I think are really handy. Lots of great booklets to get started with, and a members benefits program as well. So lots of great reasons to get started, and I hope that you would consider getting started with our tribe. See ya!